Gino Peruzzi, and a 7th cap for his Vélez Sarsfield teammate Sebastian Dominguez. Check on the strength of the Argentina substitutes bench in particular. Plenty of quality for Peckerman to call upon should he need it. Well, these are difficult conditions. Leo Messi was only saying in the build-up to this match how hard he felt in that 6-1 defeat to just get his breath. Unacclimatized players lose something like 40% of their athletic capacity, where the lungs burn and shout out for oxygen, so often in short supply, in one of the highest football stadiums in the world. We're over 3,600 meters above sea level in the capital of Bolivia, where once they tried to ban international games. FIFA actually brought in that ruling, but only after fierce lobbying from the Bolivian authorities. They eventually got this stadium back on the calendar again. And of course, it is a huge advantage for Bolivia, who are unbeaten in their last 3 matches here, 2 of them victories, including last time out a 4-1 thumping of Uruguay. Got a Chilean referee tonight, just waiting his cue to get this match underway. Our match official is Enrique Osses. I beg your pardon, it did mention José Peckerman as a former Argentina coach, having recently done Colombia last Friday. Of course, that's the nation that Peckerman now coaches. It is, of course, Alejandro Sabella, who's the man in charge of Argentina these days, doing a very good job about it too. It's Bolivia then in the familiar green from right to left in the first half. Argentina not only changing a lot of their personnel, but also looking to change their back line. Understand it might well be a 3-man centre of defence in Campagnaro, Dominguez and Basanta, with Peruzzi and Rodríguez looking to work the flanks. But don't expect Argentina to waste too much energy in the early exchanges here. They won't be able to play their normal fast-flowing passing game. They'll need to play the conditions just as much as the players in green. This is Torrico mixing out. Challenge coming in on him from Peruzzi. Cardoso looking to try and find either Martins or Salcedo. There's Cardoso again. First involvement for Messi. Certainly going to need to strike your passes as well on this pitch. Bolivia like to keep the grass long here. Palacios header down. Comfortably dealt with in midfield here by Bolivia. None of the 9 nations contesting 4 automatic qualifying places, and the 5th place nation will go into a playoff against an Asian qualifier. But none of the 9 are out of the picture. We're beyond this marathon 16-game run to Brazil 2014. Paraguay and Bolivia joint bottom with 8 points, but only 4 points off the team in 5th. Up goes Martins. Strong in the air. Salcedo was there too, but no trouble at all for Romero in the Argentina goal. Plays in Italy with Sampdoria, Sergio Romero. One of the first things Javier, the head coach of Argentina, did when he took over was make Messi his captain. Through for Di Maria. Here's Peruzzi. Messi. This is Mascherano. Can't make any progress, the right back. This is the last qualifier for Argentina until they host Colombia in June. What a match that promises to be in Buenos Aires. Colombia with the best generation of players they've had, certainly since the 90s, and Carlos Valderrama and Rincon and the rest. Argentina could probably lose all of their last 6 qualifiers and still make Brazil. Such has been their progress, with 23 points from their 10 games. Here's Valdez. Torrico. Good run from Rudy Cardoso. Good ball by Banega. Space here now for Messi. Di Maria. He had a pass on there for Palacio, and the referee Enrique Osses has given a free kick to Argentina. Di Maria's hurt. And he was going for goal there when he had a good-looking pass, the potential of a good-looking pass to Palacio to his left, but his eyes were firmly on a shot at goal there, Angel Di Maria. He missed the 3-0 win against Venezuela last Friday owing to suspension. Now the angle doesn't favour the left foot of Messi, but he's on the premises, unsurprisingly, after Banega having words with him. And the referee is going to delay the free kick because the Argentina players, there's only one. Di Maria looking to join the wall. The referee was unhappy with the yardage. Looks okay. It's Messi. Little sighter for later, perhaps. This is not an atmosphere, as the Argentina players won't need reminding, to put in too many hard yards, particularly in the early minutes. Vezaga, Cardoso, Martins, Torrico for Marcelo Martins again. Plays his club football in Brazil with Grêmio. And the final touch comes off Martins. Interesting partnership, though, he's got with Salcedo. His striking partner is 33, Carlos Salcedo. He's a real late developer. Actually didn't play in the highest level in league football in Bolivia until he was 26, Salcedo. But he got a hat-trick on his competitive debut in the last qualifier here, the 4-1 defeat of Uruguay, and he's carried that on in friendlies since. Haven't seen him on the ball yet, Salcedo. But at 33, hitting the big time. Just for the record, he wears number 19 for the green-shirted Bolivia. It's Gutierrez who's tidying up, and this is Centeno. Vezaga. Cardoso. Torrico. Chumaquero. Flag stays down. They're onside here. Bolivia, great chance. Good save by Romero. And the game's first opportunity comes and goes for Bejarano, the right back. He made a great run. And playing him onside, Argentina. And it was Sebastian Dominguez, the central defender, who played Bejarano onside. But Romero to the rescue. Good run from the fullback. Bolivia, incidentally, unbeaten in their last 3 games against Argentina. 2 of those have been in Buenos Aires. Coming forward with some menace again here, the home nation. Speculative effort in the end from Alejandro Chumaquero. Number 13 was one of the better Bolivia players in that 5-0 defeat in Colombia on Friday. There's Xavi Azcárcueta Cup finals in USA 94. It was the middle of last year when he came back for his second spell. Di Maria. Argentina making all these changes, no less than 8 of them from the 3-0 home win over Venezuela on Friday. One of the players missing out is Gonzalo Higuain, who's actually suspended for this game. He's the top scorer in South American qualification with 9 goals so far. Messi, one behind him, 13 goals in his last 11 international appearances for the Argentina captain. There's Torrico. Pocket of space here for the number 10, Cardoso. Salcedo was trying to release him. Here's Bejarano. It's worth striking from range. They scored a number of their 6 goals back in 2009 with shots from range, and the ball really travels through the air here in La Paz. Martin to the header, and Romero makes the save. But he was offside anyway, Salcedo. Brave attempt to head beyond the goalkeeper, though, from Carlos Salcedo. And that man had his flag up quickly. Almost a good assist, though, from Martins, wasn't it? And he won his fair share of headers, number 9. And it was the correct decision from the assistant. Sabea's seen his goalkeeper the busier of the 2 so far. Vezaga. Gutierrez. So many of these Bolivian players, of course, used to the altitude. It's not to say it's entirely comfortable for them either, but of course, as natives, and so many of the team play their club football here in Bolivia, they have that distinct advantage in that department. Painful not there for the international debutant. First senior cap at the age of 28 for José María Basanta, plays in Mexico with Monterrey. Good travelling support for Argentina. Of course, with Brazil not qualifying, we could have as many as 6 South American nations in the World Cup finals. That's a poor challenge by Peruzzi. I think he's slightly fortunate to get away without a card here. Oh, that is deliberate. Whilst we're watching the replay there, the shot was fired in and Romero had to deal with it. Martins with the shot. Struck it well, and it's good hands from Sergio Romero. I thought Peruzzi was lucky to get away without a booking there. Free kick against Centeno. Palacio says it's just a dream to be a strike partner of the great Leo Messi. Living out his dream is Rodrigo Palacio, who's good form with Inter Milan in Italy. Serie A has earned him a recall to the international stage. Foul on Mascherano. Plays most of his club football as a centre-back with Barcelona, as I'm sure you're aware, but very much used by his country in the centre of midfield. Messi's free kick. Travels too long for the lurking figure of Palacio. Raldez. Bolivia certainly missed the experience of Ronald Raldez on the ball here. He was suspended for that 5-0 defeat in Barranquilla last Friday against Colombia. Vezaga. Cardoso. Vezaga again. Chumaquero. Cardoso. Bejarano. Just to take on Rodríguez. Breezes past him and then was fouled by Clemente Rodríguez. And the referee is reaching for his notebook here, I think. Need Bejarano throwing up an imaginary yellow card. The referee can take charge of that. As if he was making a move for his pocket. Chilean referee, I'm not entirely sure whether he did book Rodríguez there. Nevertheless, Argentina are on the back foot. Cardoso with a free kick. did just enough to repel that attack. Here's Messi. Di Maria. And still Di Maria. And Palacio. Wonderful chance to score. Goalkeeping by Galazza. First real opening for Argentina falls to Rodrigo Palacio. And he got off his line really quickly there. Sergio Galazza to deny him. Centeno. Bejarano. Chumaquero. Zaga, Cardoso. Bejarano, Chumaquero, promising for Bolivia. The header is over. Salcedo with the attempt. It's a good try. A little striker just couldn't gain the extra height to get over the ball, but here's the setup for Di Maria to find Palacio. What a chance he had. Decided to take the first touch and not allowed the goalkeeper to get to him. Bolivia have the joint worst defensive record in qualifying. 19 they've shipped. Same number as Chile and Uruguay. Facing in Argentina the top scorers with 23 goals in their 10 games. Only 7 conceded. Valdez. Zaga. Torrico. Centeno. He's allowed to come a long way. Strikes it well. And Romero just happy to get fists to that. Really caught hold of this, Edward Centeno. Torrico. Torrico earning a corner for Bolivia. Cardoso. Bolivia stay on the front foot with Torrico here. Bolivia generally, as Chumaquero shoots some distance and is very ambitious from there. Generally speaking, they don't travel very well, Bolivia. That's been their problem down the years. Talked about the advantage they have here at altitude in La Paz. The opposition so often find it very difficult to play. They've taken just 1 point away in qualification, and that came in Buenos Aires in a 1-1 draw. Bolivia actually scored first in that game through Martins. Ezequiel Lavezzi was on the bench for Argentina today with the equaliser. Time, incidentally, local is approaching 4:30 in the afternoon. Zaga. Martins. Rodrigo. Martins again. It's good defending in the end by Basanta, closing out Martins. Has used this system of 3 centre-backs before with Argentina. It has been successful. An unnecessary risk over that free kick. Eventually Sebastian Dominguez found Basanta. There's Di Maria. Vezaga. Centeno. Little pocket of space there for Salcedo. Chimaquero's cross. In goes Martins! Goal! Bolivia in front! And it's Marcelo Moreno Martins! And Argentina are set for another difficult day in La Paz, or so it would seem. The man who got the opening goal in the 6-1 hammering of Argentina back in 2009 sets Bolivia on the road again to another possible victory over Argentina. Timed his run beautifully. Defender didn't make it. Martins most certainly did. And an object lesson for any young striker watching on. Head the ball from whence it came and makes life very difficult for the goalkeeper. Confidence coursing through the veins of Bolivia. Argentina have lost just one of their 10 qualifiers so far. That was something of a surprise. 1-0 in Venezuela. And they trail by that scoreline here. Gutierrez. Nice touch from Torrico. Here's Chimaquero. Busy little central midfield player. Gutierrez. Bolivia throw. Bejarano. Caruso. Peruzzi. Banega. The referee has penalised the stud showing by Gino Peruzzi. Caruso. given a bit of an examination. Campagnaro, Dominguez and Basanta, the three central defenders in the opening 28 minutes or so. Here's Cardoso. That's a foul. Bolivia number 10. Mascherano generally gets through a tremendous amount of work at the heart and the engine room of the Argentina team, but you could see him holding his head back there, gulping for big breaths already. Zaga, Rodrigo, Gutierrez. Zaga again, he's seen plenty of the ball in the opening half, as has number 10 Cardoso. This is Bejarano. Zaga looking to switch the play, and it's too high for Rodrigo. Sabea, I can remember him as a midfield player. He had a spell in England with the likes of Sheffield United and Leeds. Really talented player. The first wave, if you like, of foreign players to play in the English leagues. Taken Sabea, incidentally, well into his 50s to become a number 1, followed Daniel Tassarella, the former Argentina international defender and captain, around at various national team jobs and at club level. Tassarella was number 1, Sabea is number 2. Here's Messi. It's a free kick. Zaga, the offender, the number 6. So often you see Messi in those positions where he seems to have lost possession, but his strength and his balance often outwit opponents. Certainly fouled by Zaga. See signs of distress already. The body language of Messi. He, like Mascherano, another that's gulping for air right now. Not wasting any energy, Messi out there, that's for sure. Banega and Messi on the side of the free kick, delivered by Messi. And Bolivia looking for an offside flag, but didn't actually reach an Argentina player in the end. Had it done so, I think it would have been in, that would have been a definite offside there. Take your pick. Diego Bejarano, Chumaquero, Gutierrez, Rodrigo, Di Maria. I think he took that free kick from the right place, but he got away with it. It's a good challenge on Messi by Zenteno. Here's Chumaquero. Mascherano claiming he got the ball, referee saw it another way. Zaga, Rodrigo, loose from Cardoso. mentioned earlier that Argentina's next qualifier in June is a big one at home to Colombia. Bolivia have a home game next in June against Venezuela. Then they go to Chile and Paraguay. Home to Ecuador, and they finish in Peru. Final matches on the road to Brazil 2014 will be in October. Argentina will be virtually there already. They'll probably qualify with something like 3, maybe even 4 games to spare. Currently holding a lead of 4 points over Colombia, who do, though, have a game in hand. Here's Messi. Free kick against Gutierrez. Messi takes it quickly, and it's a good one too to pick out Palacio. There's a free header, and it's over from Di Maria. Good sight of goal there for the Real Madrid man. Palacio finds Di Maria really well here with a cross, and he should do better. It's 2 good opportunities Argentina have had now, one for Palacio and that one for Di Maria. That looked like an obvious push right under the referee's nose by Sebastian Dominguez. 10 minutes to half-time. Bejarano. Nice little step over from Salcedo. Here's Martins. Cardoso looking for a shooting opportunity, can't find one. Di Maria. Palacio to his left, Messi to his right. Goes it alone and wasn't too far away. Be feeling that run in the rarefied air of La Paz. Wasn't quite that quick. A decent effort at the end of it from Di Maria. I think Argentina fully expect themselves to score here. They generally do. It's just a question of whether they can keep the door shut at the back. Most experts around the game still believe that Argentina are a little short defensively. They don't have a great crop of central defenders, but a very good fullback in Zabaleta, who's very consistent. He was one of the substitutes today. But in terms of central defenders, Colaccini of the English Premier League club Newcastle United is currently out with injury. He's probably the best of the lot. Garay is decent, but he's on the bench, so Sevilla opting to choose a lot of his fringe defenders, and they've had a fair amount of work to do in this first half. Messi. All around you. He manages to extricate himself, and here is a good run from Clemente Rodríguez. Messi looking for the cutback. It's a poor ball from Clemente Rodríguez. Chumaquero. Bejarano. Crossing position here for Diego Bejarano. Back into the danger area. Might drop here for Martins. Not quite. Here's Di Maria. Great run from Di Maria. Chumaquero bites back at him. Almost broke there for Palacio. And that'll be a corner to Argentina. This was the earlier effort from Di Maria. Wasn't too far away from making it 1-1. Messi getting across to take the corner as quick as he can. See the ball there, seems to deviate in the air, doesn't it, when corners are played in like that. Makes it very difficult for strikers and defenders alike to read it. Messi again with the corner. Read well by the goalkeeper, Calazza. Just checking to see if all is well with Torico. Pezaga. If Bolivia can get all 3 points here with that next qualifier here against Venezuela, if they can record back-to-back wins, they'll be very competitive in this CONMEBOL qualification. Top four, I remind you, as of right, will qualify. A team that finishes fifth will go into a playoff against an Asian qualifying nation. Hernando. A little over 4 minutes of the first half remaining. Martins looking for the spectacular. Here's Salcedo. Bejarano struggling to plug the gaps here, Argentina. Managed to draw a veil over that one. Bejarano again. Martins the target, wins his header. Volley was from Salcedo. Crowd thought it might have struck an arm. There was no appeals from the Bolivian players. Here's Di Maria. Oh, he's going to lose out here, I think. Centeno will get there first. Not the best of clearances, but it found a teammate. Here's Vezaga. Chumaquero. Vezaga. Cardozo struck it well and certainly had the goalkeeper interested. Difficult to judge from the angle how close he was here. This will tell us. It's always curling away, isn't it? Nevertheless, Romero was exercised in that Argentina goal. Used to be a striker in his playing days, as Cacorta with Athletic Bilbao. Very popular figure here in Bolivia for that job he did, taking the nation to that World Cup finals appearance in USA '94. Messi. Passes short of Palacio. Centeno in quickly. Looking for Martins. Gets the lucky break. It's Marcelo Martins. Cardoso. Martins. Half a chance for the goal scorer. Nicely worked in the end. Salcedo involved. This was the earlier move that led to the goal. Chumaquero's cross. Martins the decisive header. Palacio for Argentina. Messi. Good support here from Rodríguez. A free header and a goal! Éver Banega equalises for Argentina, to the delight of Sabea. It's his first senior international goal, and it comes in La Paz for Éver Banega. Almost seems overcome. He finally gets a goal in an Argentina shirt. The midfielder from Valencia. Too much space as far as Bolivia were concerned. How well he directed the header. So Argentina get their customary goal. I fancy that might not be the end of the scoring here. Bolivia 1, Argentina 1. Well, never a bad time to score, but just shy of half-time. That will lift the mood in the dressing room at half-time for Argentina. Chumaquero. Up goes Martins. Nearly got it at the second time of asking. It's Cardoso's shot. Every ball slung in there. Martins a problem. Salcedo stretching and very difficult to keep the volley down. But Martins is a real handful in the air, the number 9. And they're struggling to deal with him. Salcedo with an opportunity to reply straight away for Bolivia. Difficult chance though. Playing just 1 minute of stoppage time, incidentally. And the referee has seen enough for an interesting first half in which Argentina found it difficult. Took them a while to find any sort of rhythm. Messi's been on the periphery of things by and large. But they've managed to get that equaliser after Marcelo Moreno Martins headed Bolivia in front in the 25th minute. But Éver Banega, the Argentine midfielder, with his first senior international goal. 10 seconds to commentary. Welcome back to the Hernando Siles Stadium in La Paz, Bolivia, where, as you can see, the home nation are making a change at half-time. Marvin Bejarano is coming on to replace Javier Tarico. Whether that was an enforced change or purely tactical, I'm not party to, from the coach Xavi Azcacota. And whilst Bolivia were almost late for coming out for the start of the second half, Argentina, not surprisingly, given the conditions, are taking every liberty they possibly can with the match referee Enrique Osses from Chile to finally make their way out to prepare for this second half. Messi hasn't really had a chance to add to his recent glut of goals for both club and country. Best chances in that opening half, apart from the Banega equaliser a minute before the break, arrived for Di Maria and Palacio. A couple of half chances for Bolivia to add to their goal from Marcelo Martins after 25 minutes. Estadio with a stretching volley, and Bejarano, even earlier than that at 0-0, was denied by the goalkeeper Romero. Got two Bejaranos out there now for Bolivia. We'll need to use their full names, Diego and the new man Marvin. As far as I'm aware, they're not related. Straight into the action is Marvin Bejarano. No change in Azcacota's formation. Both sides operating with the same unit of three centre-backs and wing-backs. Marvin Bejarano now the left wing-back for Bolivia in the green. Chumaquero, Vezaga, Chumaquero, Banega stretching into the challenge, and right under the nose of the referee. It's a yellow card for Éver Banega. Argentina goal scorer becomes the first booking of the game. This is just about in range to strike at Romero's goal. Goalkeepers can so often be deceived here in La Paz from shots from distance, where players very often get so much action on the ball. Love this idea, and it's been around in South America for a long time. See that little mark? The referee's got a little spray can, and he also puts a little circle round the ball from where the offence took place and sorts things out. Doesn't allow any encroachment either from the side taking the free kick or the defensive walls. Good idea, I think. Should be used more. It's comfortable for Romero. And that magic little line is made of a particular component where it just disappears into nothing. Doesn't mark the pitch permanently in any way. Marvin Bejarano. Looking for the long throw here. Martins will be the obvious target. Two men to mark him. This is Diego Bejarano. Chumaquero. Cardozo. Diego Bejarano gets round the first challenge and the shot's wide from Salcedo. Had to snatch at it quickly. Looking to add to those 5 goals in 6 appearances before today, Carlos Salcedo. Half a chance for him. Bejarano. Rezaga. Chumaquero. Bolivia wanted a free kick rather than a throw there. Felt it was handball by Clemente Rodríguez. Rezaga. Cardozo deflected. Romero happy to see it. Deflecting wide of his right-hand post. A corner to Bolivia. Cardozo across to take. Goes Martins, out as far as Chumaquero. Comfortable as you can be with the ball in the air in La Paz was Sergio Romero. Not a good clearance from the goalkeeper. María. It looked like he was being held there. And some attention here, having tangled with Ronald Raldez. I wonder if he's just pulled something there. I thought he was being held here by Raldez. Well, they were both at it really, weren't they? As if he might have an arm injury there. No shortage of quality replacements should Di Maria have a continuing problem here. Lavezzi would be the likely man to come on. See the little inhaler there after that lung bursting run from Di Maria, and all the stuffing knocked out of him after that through a challenge from Raldez. All that furore about matches here and the concerns over player safety back in 2007. This is Marvin Bejarano's cross. Diego Bejarano looking to keep it alive. Chumaquero. He looks the one player out there that looks like he's playing at sea level and not over 3,600 metres above Chumaquero. He's full of running in that Bolivian midfield. Conditions don't seem to affect him at all. Loose from Gutierrez. Here's Messi. He's so strong. Took 3 of them to deal with him. It's a good ball to seek out Martins. Well defended in the end. Campagnaro. Marvin Bejarano. Diego Bejarano. Struck it well. Fully entitled to take that one on, Diego Bejarano. And nothing like the strength of the Argentina bench available for Bolivia, who don't export as many players as they once did back in the 90s, and that squad that got them to their one and only World Cup finals. Players like Owen Sanchez, Milton Melgar, who went on to play in Argentina with Boca Juniors and River Plate. Jaime Moreno went to England and Middlesbrough. Owen Sanchez had a very good spell in Portugal himself with Benfica. Now, 1 or 2 more South American nations exporting players in Bolivia right now. Venezuela, their improvement is by and large a result of sending players around the globe. Never used to do that. And they've come on considerably, Venezuela, seeking to reach their first ever World Cup. This is Messi. Gets away from Bezaga. It's a good challenge from Raldez. Still Messi. Great cross. Almost picked out Palacio. Peruzzi forward here to Banega. Back with Peruzzi. Di Maria seemingly none the worse for that earlier challenge from Raldez. Chumaquero. Cardozo. Here's Banega. Di Maria calling for the crossfield pass. Instead it's with Palacio. Referee just urging Argentina to get on with it. As Messi struggling for his breath again. We saw that on a couple of occasions in the first half. He's really feeling the conditions. Leo Messi admitted in the build-up to this match as finding it very difficult in his one and only previous match here. That 6-1 hammering that Argentina took in qualifying for the last World Cup. This is nicely done. And Banega brings a really good save. Elastic to his left there, Galazza. Here's Messi summoning up the energy to strike a goal, but this time Galazza not needed. Certainly wasn't the first time of asking. By Banega's curling effort. It's a good save by the 37-year-old goalkeeper. Banega almost adding to his first half goal. It's a fine save. Marvin Bejarano. Martins losing out to Javier Mascherano. Good looking ball here to Palacio, who's onside. Messi, no way through. Marvin Bejarano. Chumaquero. Last November finished 1-1 when these two met in Buenos Aires in World Cup qualifying. Moreno putting Bolivia ahead today. Banega equalising just before the break. Some parts of the world they call him Marcelo Moreno. They very much know him in his homeland as Marcelo Martins. Marvin Bejarano. His pass is a poor one, picked up by Di Maria, who spirits away from Chumaquero. He's done more running in a blue and white shirt of Argentina than anyone. Di Maria. No test of his fitness, this exercise. An hour gone in La Paz. Offside, Di Maria. Sabea going to make a change. The goal scorer coming off. Éver Banega. And Leonardo Ponzio is going to come on to replace him. Player who's just come back into the fold at the age of 31. Ponzio had a long spell playing in Spain. Who's now back in his native Argentina with River Plate. This is his 8th cap. Straight swap for Banega in midfield. Chumaquero. Diego Bejarano. Cardozo. Pezaga. Chumaquero. I'm not sure he meant that, but it worked. Gutierrez. Marvin Bejarano. Cardozo stopped in his tracks. Here's Martins. Not a bad try. Wasn't a great deal of room for him to try that. Basanta is okay. Hardly seemed to put his foot through that at all, Romero, and the distance took it right to the edge of the opposing penalty area. Ball really flies here, it's quite extraordinary. Here's Diego Bejarano. Terrific work from the fullback. This is Marvin Bejarano. Martins. Not sure there was any contact there, was there? And the referee's given it. Just enough in the eyes of the referee from Ponzio. Here comes the little can again, just to mark the line where he wants the Argentina wall. Cardoso's free kick, looking for Martins. It's comfortable for Romero. Game's gone just a little flat. Perhaps both teams looking to gain a second wind here. There's Diego Bejarano. I think from Bolivia's point of view, the best objective for them is to keep the tempo high. I'm going to bring on a striker shortly in Arce. Snap effort. Never troubling the Argentina goal. Here's Arce, number 7. It's going to be Diego Bejarano who will come off. Crowd not happy about that. Nor too is the player. I'm a little bit surprised. And the crowd reacted immediately there. He's been dangerous making those runs forward down the right. Diego Bejarano, really surprised that he was the player to make way for Juan Arce. But it is quite an attacking change from the coach Azcacota. As I say, Arce is a striker. Plays for the Bolivar club. Palacio. Ponzio. That's going to be a surefire booking. Got there as quick as he could, Gutierrez. He knows what's arriving from the referee. Peruzzi felt the full weight of this. Messi over the free kick. Only 3 Argentina players inside that penalty area. He almost got there though. First Basanta and then Palacio in behind him. Only needed a touch there, Rodrigo Palacio, and he scores. Eventually got through to Arce. Here's Chumaquero. Bejarano. Made 1 or 2 good runs, the man taking the throw since he came off the substitutes bench, Marvin Bejarano, shaping for another one of his long throws. Goalkeeper looking to take charge. Defenders love that. Positive from Sergio Romero. Quarter of the game remaining in La Paz, where before kick-off Argentina were 15 points ahead of Bolivia in the standings. Argentina on top, 23 points from 10 games. Then Colombia 19 from 9. Ecuador 17 from 9, Uruguay 13 from 10, Chile 12 from 10, Venezuela 12 from 10, Peru next 11 from 10, and Bolivia and Paraguay at the bottom 8 points from their 10 games each. Here's Arce. Showed too much of that to Rodríguez. As I said earlier, teams at the bottom, Paraguay and Bolivia, with 8 points, only 4 shy of the 5th qualifying place. That 5th place will go to a 2-leg playoff against a playoff team that emerges out of the Asian qualifiers. Top 4 go to Brazil. Here's Mascherano trying to outwit the goalkeeper. Bolivia, one of 4 competing nations in CONMEBOL to change their coach during this qualification period. Colombia, Paraguay and Chile, the others. And goes Martins. It was well judged. It was better defending from Argentina with the ball in the air. Talking of those change of coaches, of course, the hosts, Brazil, have recently gone back to the man they call Filipao. Felipe Scolari. Mano Menezes, the man who looked like he was going to take charge of Brazil on home soil in the finals in 2014. Surprisingly dumped at such a late stage. It's been all about friendlies and the build-up preparation for Brazil, the latest of which was a 1-1 draw in England at Chelsea Stamford Bridge earlier this week. Finished 1-1. Brazil only getting that draw thanks to a late equaliser. Martins won't get a free kick, doesn't ask for one. Not much by way of goalmouth thrills and spills in the last quarter of an hour or so. Distribution from Romero has been poor. That's where it should have been, says the coach. Here's Bejarano.
Chicky.
Peruzzi. Mascherano. Fonzio for Messi. Palacio. See. The angle just about right for Centeno. He's committed to the diving, clearing header, making sure it finished wide of his own goal. Corner to Argentina. Not seen any of the trademark runs and dribbling from Messi. He's conserved his energy throughout. Maybe waiting to pounce in the final exchanges. Be the man to deliver for Argentina again. Off comes Cardoso. On is Mojica, who started the game in Colombia last Friday. Gualberto Mojica, midfield player, straight into the action here. And that's going to travel out harmlessly. Offside against Palacio. Mezaga. Martins. Goalkeeper watchful, had to be. Just make sure he had his angles all covered there. Romero. Mascherano. Here's Messi. Incidentally, Bolivia are the only South American nation that Messi has yet to score against. Chumaquero. Onto a return, which was neat from Arce. Too long, just asking too much of Martins there. The idea was right, not quite the execution. Injured his shoulder there as he tried his best to keep that attack alive. Mojica. Finding the pass too difficult to deal with. Just wants to get out of here. Messi doesn't enjoy this experience one little bit, the altitude of La Paz. Argentina, make no mistake about it, would look upon a draw here as a good result. Might get better for them, because here's Di Maria. It's obstruction. He was beaten for pace there. And Valdez sees a yellow card. There's no question that he looked to get across the path there of Di Maria, because he knew he was going to lose out in the race. That is a definite booking. He can have no complaints, the captain. Actually plays his club football Valdez in Argentina with the Colón club. Now, what will Messi try from here? Scoring a goal from a not dissimilar position to this. Doesn't favour his left foot, and he was playing for Barcelona against Atletico Madrid, and he curled it into the top right-hand corner as we look at it. That's what he went for again. Galazza with a save, and the second time of asking. Martins, he's a handful. Dealt with well in the end by Campagnaro. Good steal from Bejarano. He showed too much of that to Mascherano. Mojica. Chumaquero. Di Maria. Chance for a run. Opportunity to play Palacio in there. He'd found some space. Game really stretched now. Ponzio. Palacio. Bejarano. Chumaquero still looks as fresh as he was in the first minute, incredibly. This is Arce. Martins. Deflection's kind for Romero. Just run out of attacking ideas now, Bolivia. And this man on the pitch, Argentina still have hope of all 3 points. Messi's ball kicks out Di Maria. Decent cross. Well defended in the end by Gutierrez. And a yellow card now for Mascherano. Most experienced member of this Argentina side. 89th cap for Javier Mascherano today. Here's Martins. Shot was a decent one. Not sure Campagnaro knew too much about it, but he got his body in the way. Chumaquero. Martins. Arce. Chumaquero. Vezaga. Urged to shoot. Not a goal scorer. It's only his 5th cap. Vezaga plays for the oldest of all the Bolivian league clubs, the strongest. Heading towards the final 10 minutes. Arce. Neatly done. Away from Rodríguez. The need for the extra 2 points is far greater for Bolivia in the position they are than table toppers Argentina. Palacio, flag staying down here. Calmly done by Centeno. A reminder, Bolivia's next qualifier in June here against Venezuela. If they can get an extra 2 points with a winning goal in this one, will give them so much confidence for that Venezuela game, and who knows, they could find themselves in the top 5 by the end of June. It was Messi's earlier effort, and it's one for the cameras for Galata. They might be second bottom in the standings, but they're far from out of the picture, Bolivia. Such is the tight nature. Only 5 points separating Argentina in 4th and Paraguay at the bottom in 9th. A lot of football to be played yet on this continent. Ponzio. Cut out easily by Chumaquero. Can't link with Arce. His distribution has been good today, Chumaquero, but not on that occasion. Here's Luis Gutierrez. Bejarano, Vezaga. Bejarano, past one challenge, can't ride the second. Mascherano. Of normal time remaining. Palacio. No real support for him. Plays from deep via Mascherano. Here's Palacio, can't find any room. There's a mistake there, and here's Messi. Still he can't find a goal against Bolivia. It's his clearest opportunity, Galazza. That's one to tell the grandchildren. Denied the great man. Oh, what a let-off for Bolivia. Mojica. Chumaquero. Well, if anybody deserves a goal, it's him. He's been a real worker. Tried his luck and was heading halfway up the Andes. Galazza, the hero for Bolivia. Once Messi gets on a one-on-one, horrible mistake from the captain, Rodríguez. Galazza saved his blushes. You see Di Santo now, striker, coming on to replace Palacio. Franco Di Santo plays in the English Premier League with Wigan Athletic. This is his third senior cap. 23-year-old, still awaiting his first goal. Huge clearance, and the back header is awkward. Goalkeeper Galazza happy to see it clear the crossbar via the head of the captain, Rodríguez. In a nervy last minute or so for him. Must have thought for a moment that was going to drop in. Argentina finishing the stronger. All the cameras out. What a great thrill for the Bolivian supporters to see the world's best player up close and personal. Messi really overhit the corner. It's not difficult to do up here. Bolivia have outlined that in terms of where these two stand in qualification. Di Maria's ball in. Oh, he had a chance to hit it first time. Passed up that opportunity, Messi. Just thought he was going to put the laces through that. Glorious ball from Di Maria. Inviting this is for Leo Messi. Has to hit that first time. Bezaga. I think this is only his fifth senior cap. Looks very composed and controlled in that central midfield area. Walter Bezaga. This is Mojica. Chumaquero. Gutierrez. Chumaquero again into the last 2 minutes of the 90. Mojica. Any goal now is very likely to be a winning goal. Mojica, de Hernando, well blocked by Peruzzi. Bolivia supporters expectant. Javier prowls his technical area. Nervy moments here for Argentina. And Bolivia pinch it late on. Romero with a positive punch. He gets the benefit of the whistle as well. He's got Quarter, centre forward in his playing days, thinking, what's all that about? Well, that's what it's about. It's definite holding there. Mind you, the defender had hold of Martins as well as vice versa. A shot there of Guiñazú, midfield player. Looks like he's going to arrive to proceedings very late. Di María is going to be the player to depart. A few good runs from Angel Di María, went close late on in the first half to getting on the score sheet. It's not as though La Paz has taken too much out of him. Enough, but other players have suffered more. Pablo Guiñazú on. And stoppage time. Arte. It's corner. Flying rather closer to the goal than was comfortable for Campagnaro. Arte will take the corner kick. Martins looking for more support in and around him. And it's going to be another whistle in favour of Argentina. We're playing 3 minutes, a minimum of 3 minutes stoppage time. Hernando. Mojica. Guiñazú. Once again, the whistle will frustrate Bolivia. Spot a cramp here for Mascherano. Argentina have used all their 3 available substitutes, and Mascherano's going to have to see it out, but there isn't long left. A little over a minute. Well, the point isn't disastrous for Bolivia, despite the fact they're joint bottom on 8 points, because if they can beat Venezuela here in June, then 12 points after 12 games will mean it's entirely possible they can finish at least in 5th place, which would take them to a 2-leg playoff. But another point racked on the board for Argentina seems increasingly likely. 24 points, that would be enough from here on in. They could lose the last 5 and go to Brazil. They know that. It's just about maintaining some form and finding the right blend for the coach, Javier. We'll see if Argentina can win the World Cup again. Won it on home soil back in the late 70s. It's not quite over yet. Mojica, he's running up a bit of a cul-de-sac here. He's lost possession. There could be a break on here for enough time to complete it. The referee says no. Full time in La Paz. And frankly, the second half ebbed away a little bit. It was slightly disappointing after an interesting first when Bolivia took the lead through Marcelo Moreno Martins after 25 minutes. Éver Banega with his first senior international goal for Argentina, equalised with a header a minute before half-time. There weren't too many goal-scoring opportunities in that second period. The best fell for Lionel Messi, who failed on a one-on-one with the goalkeeper Sergio. Hope you've enjoyed it. Final score in La Paz. It's finished Bolivia 1, Argentina 1.